Well, hello, and welcome to Opal City Confidential, a Starman podcast, episode 50. And this is, we are going to be coming Demon's Quest Part 2, or Hell and Back Part 2. I forgot this story had two names, one on the cover and one inside. We're going to cover that and Adventure Comics 74, and another adventure with Ted. So let's get started with Starman 25. And we're going to get some pertinent data from Mike's Amazing World and from the Fandom Wiki. This comic was published on October 2nd, 1996. Cover dated December 1996. Editor, the amazing Archie Goodwin. It's a 22-page story. It stars Jack Knight. It is written by James Robinson, penciled by Tony Harris, inks by Wayne P. Von Graubadger. Letters by Bill Oakley, colorist Gregory A. Wright. This has been reprinted in Wicked Combination Tradeback in 1998, Starman Hardcover Omnibus in 2009, Starman Omnibus Volume 2 Trade Paperback 2012, and Starman Compendium Volume 1 2021, which is where I read it, that and on the app. So let's get a quick synopsis from the Fandom Wiki, because there isn't one on Mike's yet. This is a short one. It's a good one. The Shade and Matt O'Dare are lost in hell due to the demonic villain Damon Merritt. Jack Knight and the O'Dare family ambush Merritt and his gang as he tries to recover a poster that is a demon's doorway to immortality. During the skirmish, Jack leaps into the poster in hopes of saving his two friends. And this is Hell and Back Part 2, as I said. Main character, again, Jack Knight. Supporting cast, Starman Michael Thomas, Ted Knight, the O'Dare family consisting of Barry O'Dare, Clarence O'Dare, Hope O'Dare, Mason O'Dare, and Matt O'Dare behind the scenes, and the Shade behind the scenes. And the villain is Damon Merritt. We have charities here. Any trivia? Reprinted, okay, I said that. Charity and Mason O'Dare are hiding out in the Jolly Roger Motel. Jolly Roger Studios, where artist Tony Harris works from. That's very cool. That is a very good note. But let's kind of go through this. A lovely, lovely Tony Harris cover. It has the Shade with it bitten an apple. He's in black and white. And then you have a tree that has the branches are made of a beautiful woman's hair full of apples, and a beautiful woman with violet eyes is staring out. And there's a serpent, and it is very Garden of Eden, and it is incredibly beautiful. And then we go inside. There's a motif in this that I like, that it's about the poster. The poster, and the poster is a gateway. And the entire issue has a frame around it, the exact same frame, like this enormous frame with some ornamentation at top and bottom. So you're looking like in a manuscript, or you're looking at a framed poster, and the poster is continually changing and telling you the story. That's the way it worked for me. And I thought it was lovely. I think it's a beautiful... Tony Harris's art is some of the best in comics history, and it gives such life to this series. The world he creates every issue gets more vibrant and more complete, and it's just he's just rocking and rolling. So we get to see Merritt's gang and the poster, which has a demon tormenting Shade and Matt O'Dare. And we keep cutting back between Merritt getting his people ready and Jack getting his people ready. Merritt is Jack is talking to his dad and to the O'Dares. Or no, just the O'Dares. He's just hanging out with the O'Dares. They're plotting how they're going to lure Merritt to the poster by guarding it. It's like saying, come and get it. That's kind of what's going on in here. And Merritt is preparing himself for the battle by having a woman, kind of very cliche bad guy, and a prostitute before the battle. But I guess it works because he's supposed to be not a very nice person. He's supposed to be a pretty bad person. He's a horrible person. He's enslaved. And then he goes to the poster. Somehow he communicates with the demon, and the demon is, find the poster, find it, get it. And there's a woman called Charity that is a threat, and that's when the demon is, Charity is now in more jeopardy. But she's hanging out with Mason and the Jolly Roger. And we just keep jumping back between the two. Jack goes and sees his dad. It's the first time he's seen Michael since Michael started talking, and they have a conversation, kind of, if you want help, and they kind of get caught up on what Jack's now getting caught up that they're looking for Solomon. Michael's cope is talking, but Jack's got to go do what he's got to do, and it's just a nice little scene. I like Michael, and Solomon. I can't wait to Solomon. Can't wait till we get to the big Solomon Grundy story that's coming up. Back to Mason and Charity, and it's about that time when something's going wrong. He tells Charity to move, get into the bathroom. Someone's coming, but they're bonding, they're loved because this has been predicted. So when they saw each other at the end of the last issue, it's fulfilling this thing from the beginning of the series where when Charity meets Jack and Jack asks her out to go to a movie, and she goes, "No, you're not the one I'm here to fall in love with. I'll meet him soon." And that's who Mason is. And then these bad guys are at the hotel and they're trying to break in, but Mason, being the Daredevil O'Dare brother, he wedged himself above the door frame in the alcove where the door is, jumps down and starts shooting. And then we're back to the police station where the poster is being held, and Merritt and his men blow up the front door, and the battle begins. And it's like, it's great action. It's well framed. He uses only like 2 and 3 panels. I like that for it the most. And it moves the battle around. It shows that, it's a fit battle between 2 large groups of people. People are dropping. Their dares are fighting. The demons coming out of the poster and start pulling people in. And Jack dives in to go save the Shade and Matt, and the poster changes, and it's Jack and some insects and his own cosmic rods piercing his side like Jesus on the cross, and that's the end of the issue. I'm kind of glad this is only a 3-parter because it's clipping through. We had the setup last week. We have the battle to get the post. We have the 2 armies, the 2 gangs, the 2 groups, the heroes versus villain come into thing. And then the next issue is Jack and Shade and Matt's journey out of the poster. And it's just good. Again, the way it was drawn, I kind of just want to sing Tony Harris's praises for this issue because I love the frame of the poster. I love that, just the way he chose. I can't read his mind and what he was doing, but I felt that the number of panels, it led to more. This panel construction in this issue, I thought it worked beautifully. I thought the color, the choices of color that Gregory Wright does, or the whole team comes to for these tones, where there's some pages when we're with Mason and Charity, it's in a sepia tone, yellow and gold. It's beautiful. It's like a violet purple when we're blue. It's just different shades for different scenes. Merrick's people tend to be this fuchsia, pink, red, demon color. It's just frickin' amazing. And the story is just moving. I'm really, I've probably read these issues more than any other in the series because because every time a new trade came out, or I would do a reread when it was early on, because I used to reread this at least once a year. I know these ones, and it's right now we're in this stretch where Tony Harris's art is just getting better and better and better, and the choices are amazing, and it's a pleasure to read it. It makes it easier to read. It makes it more exciting to read. It gives me a better satisfaction. It's just such a good issue, and I really can't wait for the next one. And I'm not reading ahead, which is driving me nuts while we're in this section. So I think the thing with Merritt is great. I think these are great villains. I think that we're getting these great characters, and they're taking time. Robinson and Harris are taking time to introduce us to them and build a relationship. Michael and Solomon and Ted was this one group of friends, and then you see Jack forming friends with the O'Dares because they're the ones actually out there fighting crime. And it's just great world building, and it's such a fun ride, and the next one's going to be great. All right, let's jump to Ted, and we're going to cover Adventure Comics 1974, which was Ted is no longer the cover featured cover character. That is now the Sandman, and it is this as I said, Jack Kirby Sandman cover. It's him in his purple and yellow costume with Sandy. It's a great cover. I mean, it's a great cover, but it's not Starman. But Sandman became the kind of lead in this. So this story, this one was released on March 27th, 1942. Cover dated May 1942. Editor Murray Boltinoff. Yay, Murray. The story is called The Case of the Monstrous Animal Men. It's an 11-pager. It is written by Gardner F. Fox, artist Jack Burnley. It was reprinted in the Golden Age Starman hardcover volume 1, which is where I read it. Starman's in it, of course. Doris Lee, she does not appear for 3 issues after this, or Woodley Allen. So we're going to have some Starman stories where it's a Starman. The villain is Claw, a cat burglar. Ivan Karoff, a criminal scientist. And 2 guards. Other characters, just some random ones. Synopsis for this is: a bank is robbed by a man with a panther head. Starman is called to solve the crime. He finds another man with a wolf head working as an actor. He follows the man back to the lab of Carl Carey, where Carey's assistant, Ivan Karoff, is transforming men into animal forms. Starman tries to intervene, and he is knocked out by an electrical charge. Karoff transforms him into a lion, and when Starman revives, he again battles Karoff and the Panther Man, Claw. Starman's gravity rod is able to restore his true appearance and defeat the crooks. Karoff is a victim of his own device, transformed into a hog and killed by the transformation machine. I liked how these two, the last one was a little more science fiction-y with the rocket, but this one is even more science fiction-y. They're getting a red. I just like it. They're a little less than it's always been that criminals have just been people in costumes committing crimes, and they're still just committing crimes. But there's a little sci-fi in it, some 40s sci-fi, and I think that's cool. Again, Jack Burnley art is amazing. I love it more and more. I have an issue with some Golden Age art. It's hard, it's rougher, it's a little more primitive, but Burnley's is always very much, like I've said, like Sunday adventure strips. But the Panther Man looks good. I thought it was a costume at first, because you see him robbing the bank and attacking the guard. And we see him being turned back. So I thought it was a costume at first. But yeah, the Karoff and him. Karoff works for somebody else, Dr. Carey, but Karoff is the big bad guy. He looks a little bit like Lyndon Johnson, former past president of the United States. And Doris takes Ted there because of his all of his ailments, and he ends up. It's not because he thinks this is where the guy is. He just ends up there. Then he's called away by Woodley Allen, and he then goes and battles the Wolfman. But he realized, oh wait a minute, he's on a movie set. But he's like, that's not a mask. I punched him. That's a wolf face, so I'll follow him. So he follows him, and it's like, wait, I was here before. And that's when he dives in and gets into a nice little battle and is knocked unconscious, turned into a lion head. Because one of the premises of this is that it pulls out your inner animal, the one that, is parallel to your personality, and Ted's a lion. And it's just more battle. And some just great art, great fun story. And there's a lot of action. For 11 pages, I'd say half the pages are fight scenes. And it's really well-drawn stuff and well-paneled. And Garv gets turned into a pig and then dies. It's just a nice little 1940s comic. Golden Age comics are hit or miss for me, but it's just the bias of, it's not the era I grew up with comics, of course, because I'm not 1,000 years old. But there's some art that I really like, and there's some that I don't. And I think these are some of the best. I think these stories and this stuff is very different than some of the other stuff. I like some Golden Age Batman. I really do. And some Superman. Wish I had more of it in reprint form. And not as... There should be more of it on the app, I think. This stuff should be on the app. I don't know why it's not. If you got a hardcover book of it, do it. I think I've only got one more or two more of these stories in the first volume, and then we will move on to volume 2 of the hardcover, where we'll get Emil Gershwin as the artist, because Jack Burnley will have left the book, which is great because it's a totally different visual aspect, and it sings. It's a different song. So, well, that's it for this week, folks. I've had a really hell of a last 10 days. Busy at work. Got a gimpy left shoulder. And that I had a case of the shingles. So I spent a couple days just laying around fighting that. Luckily, it's a minor case, and I was able to record today, and I'm not in as much pain, except a lot of meds when you're on something like that, and my sleep patterns all screwed up from that. But I'm feeling better, and I've been reading a lot of comics. Some suggestions I would say is, some things I'm reading is Robin and Batman by Jeff Lemire and Justin Yuen. I ordered from In Stock Trades. Check out In Stock Trades. I got 4 trade backs have Jeff Lemire stuff in it. One was the Robin and Batman. The other was his Green Hell hardcover Black Label Swamp Thing book he did. I don't know the artist, and I feel bad, and I can't read it from here. Also, Inferior 5 he did with Keith Giffen, which is set during the invasion. It's something I had the first couple issues because it was Keith Giffen, and now that I'm a huge Jeff Lemire fan, I thought I'd get the trade. And the last one was Creature Commandos presents Frankenstein, Agent of Shade, Volume 1, which has his 4-issue 7 Soldier Victories mini, and the first 7 issues of his regular ongoing, which I really liked. So they're going to do 2 of these, and that will have all of it. I like him as a character, and I think it's kind of why I didn't catch that Jeff Lemire was writing that when I was reading it, because I became a Lemire fan when I picked up Black Hammer. And I don't know what order I did that in. But those are 4 books that I'm looking forward to reading. Been reading some Avengers. I'm up doing a reread of that, just jumping in and out. I haven't even gotten to the first lineup change. I'm getting close. I'm enjoying that. And I'm reading Vision of Scarlet Witch because me and Jennifer DeRoss got into a little conversation on Blue Sky about weird pregnancies in comics, because she had said she had commented that she enjoyed her read-through of the Stan and Jack stuff, but had some problems with the pregnancy, and I had just gotten to that, and I responded like, yeah, she's in a moo-moo. It's terrible. It's so out of place. And she wrote a great article where she talked about that pregnancy, Scarlet Witch's pregnancy, and Carol Danvers' pregnancy, to show you 3 different ways that it's told for better or worse. And it was really good. So if you haven't seen it, I'm going to put a link to it up again on Blue Sky, and maybe on some of the other interwebs. She is on Blue Sky. And that's where we interact. Not everybody's on everything. I'm still on everything, folks. Just trying to catch you where I can. I am on Twitter. I am on Blue Sky. I'm on Mastodon. I am on Instagram, and I am on Facebook. Please check that out, and follow me along. You'll catch what I'm reading. Please comment. Suggest things for me to try. I would love that. All right, so folks, next week in 2 or 3 days. This is Sunday, and on Tuesday you will get the next one, which is the next. It'll be the last part of the Dateline story and a one-shot from DC Action Comics Weekly. With the Starman, because I didn't want to break up the next 2-part story, which is David Knight meets Will Payton. So that's coming up. And next week, and in 2 weeks for this one, it will be the final of Hell and Back Part 2 or Hell and Back Part 3 or Demon's Quest Part 3. And we will be then going to All-Star Comics and Ted's next appearance with the Justice Society of America. All right, folks, as always, be safe, be smart, be kind to one another, and read some comics.